Let's go!
Ronaldo is in a fighting game, and we knew this was coming. We didn't know to the context and severity of the situation. Ronaldo is officially in a fighting game. A sports superstar has officially entered the fighting game pantheon. You would say that this is the first time this has happened. By technicality, I guess it is. LeBron was in Multiverses. There's a caveat, though. LeBron in Multiverses is based on a fictional LeBron, quote unquote, which is also in its own fictional world of like Space Jam. So Shaq Fu, right? Also a version of Shaq in a character game, but also from like a universe, like from a fictional, from what I understand, Shaq Fu has its own fictional world to it, where it's like, oh, it's kind of like constrained in this idea. It isn't like Shaq just jumped out of the NBA into this crazy isekai or some shit. Like, no, they took Shaq as a person and created a character around him and a story that built a video game around it. Yeah, it's real Shaq that knows how to fight magical people. Is that really it? Am I thinking of something else? Then to be honest, this is probably the closest to Shaq Fu. So we need to watch this shit, right? If this is the case, Shaq Fu is the closest in terms of this overall fiction, but Shaq Fu is being thrown into a headliner game. Shaq is being thrown into a headliner game that is of his own identity. All I know is that it's just Ronaldo, bro. And that's the part that's kind of like, wait, okay, so it isn't just a skin. It isn't like Ronaldo is participating as a character in the fictional universe in some way. For example, whoever the dude was that played Victor in Tekken 8, that dude is not the same dude, but it's his voice and it's a very close approximation of some of the characters he's played in fiction and stuff like that. They had this like French actor guy that they sort of built a character around, and it practically is the Tekken version of him. This is not that. Ronaldo is bleak. The Fatal Fury universe exists, and they just, Ronaldo comes from real life and they go and he's there. Like, I want to know his backstory, dude. Did Geese's body, as it was falling out of the skyscraper, like land in front of him and it nearly killed him and it sent him into like a rage or some shit? Like, I need to know. Like, that part is getting me more than anything of like, how is this existing in this fiction? I'm gonna shut the hell up now because I haven't actually seen the full trailer. I've just seen the fact that it's just Ronaldo. Here we go. Chill. Oh, wait, this was different. There are like probably 18 trailers. By the way, before this starts, shout outs to marketing, right? Shout outs to marketing, because as much as like, I am not a soccer guy, I know more about Ronaldo because of his potential inclusion in Fatal Fury and the tease of it and now than any other aspect of soccer. That's like only way I know this guy. But at the same point, I'm like, this is huge for Fatal Fury. Like, this is a big thing just for the expansion and the acknowledgement of existence of fighting games in general. So it's kind of like, okay, that's the kind of shit I'm into, where it's like, how do we get this into the eyes and ears of more people? Football. It's like seeing Marvel versus Capcom 2 and all of a sudden, like, all the weird ass Marvel characters show up and I'm like, I don't know who the hell Blackheart is or anything like that. That being said, I'm going to watch this with pure eyes. I'm going to look at this with like, I am on the fighting game side. And I want to see what the fighting game brain sees, because as much as I'm excited about the pure expansion part of like fighting games, I want to see how faithful it's done and how referential it is, and if he looks natural. So here we go. I will shut up now. I swear. Day one Ronaldos? Better believe it. All of the novice ranks will just be Ronaldo.
And now, a fighter.
He's like, why? He's like, what? What is this? This has already started in a way that I would have done completely different. Oh, that's a he has a soccer ball. Okay, so now he has power.
was fun.
Bro, that is a regular man. Something about this trailer really doesn't do it for me. Comes across as like anti-hype. I think I know why. Hold up.
Let's do it.
This is all fine. Now, what I really wanted to see, like, okay, I'm gonna start being critical. His inclusion's fine, but I think the trailer's actually bad. I'm gonna explain. Dude just enters random place. Okay, so there's no story. There's literally nothing setting this up other than Ronaldo is here. Okay, this guy should have been in the middle of a football match, and all of a sudden he's like getting beamed up or some shit. Like, he should have been existing in our world and he's like taken to another world or some shit. Like, there needed to be a story that brought him here. It's like, no, I'm just gonna walk in. There's no buildup. Yeah, he's just, I'm here and I'm in a video game all of a sudden, you know? He should have been isekai'd into Fatal Fury in some way. And there's something that, hold on, I need to watch it again. It feels, without that buildup, it feels very product placement-y. That's all I'm gonna say. It feels very like, this is only a promotional thing. That's it. I mean, it is, don't get me wrong, it 100% absolutely is, but to move around the feeling of that, right? To actually build something around it and grow a narrative and something, that's all I'm saying. Bro, okay, chill. I'm gonna fix something right now because this trailer continues, right? And he just does stuff. He does like a few moves.
That was fun.
And it's, oh, dude, I do not. It's almost like just the reveal of Ronaldo being in the game is actually the trailer. That is the thing that should be getting you excited instead of the payoff of like, it isn't Ronaldo, no, a fighting game character. No, Ronaldo's in Fatal Fury. Like, he exists. So here we go. Hold on a second. Before I even see the next trailer, I want to do something. It cuts from like real life Ronaldo to this Ronaldo, which is already a stretch. But Ronaldo's in the middle of like the greatest action he possibly could doing, which is kicking a goddamn ball, kicking a football. So he's literally running in and leading in with like his right leg, right? Boom. Cool. There's another spot where he literally does this right here. Dude, how in the hell was the transition not to this cool ass cinematic Ronaldo shot? He's jumping in and he's gonna kick it and it goes in and he's like, I am man. Like, he should have been here. Boom, and look, he's in Fatal Fury. Like that shit should have, that was a home run. First time you see him, you see this. You see this wild ass shit, you know? Like, whoa, he's doing the coolest thing you possibly can. What? That's why I think it was throwing me off. I was like trying to figure out what's happening here, dude. So yeah, like it literally is the same foot. Like, it's the same shot. It's him doing all of it, dude. It's like, oh, this bugs me. I'm bugged. I'm straight perturbed that it's him leading into that and it's literally the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Okay, I need to see more. All right, I need to see more. I'm going back. I already have criticisms. Where's the full trailer? I need the full gameplay.
Let's have some fun. For the love of the game.
Who is that? Who is that? Hold on. Who is that? That is not the same person. That is not. Who is that guy?
Push it. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, he's doing things we thought he would be doing. Oh, this is cool. Does he actually bring out a soccer ball? A football? Sorry. Does he actually like hold one in stance or some shit? He's a Rekka character?
This is it.
The ending part's the best part. I don't.
Fatal Fury. City of the Wolves.
I feel like he's not fantastical enough. I feel like he's a little too close to real life. I mean, it's cool. I think the soccer stuff is cool. And if he's using soccer ball like mid combos and shit, it's the best part. But something about him really feels like way too marketably close to normal man in a game that is pretty fantastical, right? Just in general. And I think the big thing that gets me is the costume, dude. Again, I think his gameplay actually looks pretty fun, but I wish he could have been an in-world Fatal Fury Ronaldo a little bit more, right? Maybe not exactly like, he feels like he's coming from planet Earth. I want him to feel like he came from Southtown. He's wearing shorts, don't get me wrong, he's wearing a costume. But all I'm saying is that he's looking like he's representing a country from the United States or the world or something. Like he's representing some place on planet Earth. I wanted him to be from like a Southtown place or some shit. I want him to be in universe. Which you could have like changed the costume. You could have gotten a little crazier in that situation. You could have allowed his design to be a bit more Fatal Fury-ish. Because the ball stuff is cool. That's his lore stuff he's visiting? Yeah, like, so if it is an isekai, then I'm curious why they didn't do that in the friggin' the trailer. Why didn't they do that in the trailer? Like Ronaldo American? No. So like, for example, Southtown is fictional Miami, right? In the same way that Southtown is fictional Miami, I wanted a Ronaldo from a fictional SNK adjacent place, like that comes from an in-universe place that allows him. It's like a mixture of New York, LA, I get it, right? But that's like the idea behind Southtown, the idea behind Metro City is that they are adjacent. They're not the exact same thing. They're sort of like it, but they put their own spin on it, you know? Fictional, yes. Fictional Portugal, like sure. That's all I'm asking. I want him to come from some other thing. It feels so... He feels like a dude. He feels like a dude. Is there other gameplay trailers? I want to see more stuff. I want to see more gameplay. But what it feels like is the deal behind it had a lot of very specific stipulations about the way he looks. That's what it comes across as, that like in terms of how it was approved and how it got in there, he looks like too much like just like almost ordinary guy in comparison to everybody else. Even though his gameplay is probably going to be fine. There's a move list on the website. Let's check that out. I want to see more. He's him. I mean, it's not like it's some dude, imagine if he was some super popular soccer player in the Fatal Fury universe and he was loosely Ronaldo, right? Like he had the number, he had so many stuff, but he maybe had like a different name, Ronaldo-like. But Ronaldo didn't voice him, but it was clear that it's like, oh wow, like yeah, goddamn. So it's okay if you have somebody else voice him, but clearly that's like Ronaldo's likeness is being turned into an in-universe KOF sports team character, but it's not that. He's from Earth. This shit was no problem for nobody. This shit is not an issue for 99% of people, chat. This is a me thing. Where it's like the way characters are treated in their existence in fighting games. Like you would say the most out-of-pocket, unhinged fighting game characters ever that weren't from fighting games and shit. And yeah, like Negan is one of them because it is a reach, but it's also a fictional character being put into a fictional universe, you know? So it does sort of make sense. It's mad reaching, but it isn't literally the actor is in here, right? You know, I just pinpointed why I feel this way. Imagine you have a movie, a Fast and the Furious movie. Let's just imagine a new Fast and the Furious movie in general. And I'm making up the characters, and they have all the OG characters. They have, Family Guy and Michelle Rodriguez, forgot her name, but it's all those characters that exist there, right? So it's all of them, and then The Rock shows up, and I get it. The Rock does show up, but The Rock shows up as a fictional character and existing in their universe. Imagine if they're like 6 movies in or some shit, and then suddenly The Rock shows up, and he's like, I'm Dwayne Johnson, like from wrestling. I was the Scorpion King. Let's get this done. Wait a minute, you're like a real person. Like you're not a character. You are Dwayne The Rock Johnson, like a real human. That's where I think this feels weirdly out of place, right? I think Ronaldo now existing in this Fatal Fury fictional universe that now takes a real life person and just goes, boop, and they have been, now they're here, He's like, can you smell? He like does the whole thing. It's like, huh. Interesting. But that's the thing. Yes, the marketability aspect of this entire situation, just the pure amount of money being thrown around is literally the most impressive part because of how much this will expand, right? What about you when you modded your voice in DNF Duel? Great question. I got a bunch of shit. You know why? Because I did not want to do myself in DNF Duel. I wanted to do a hyper version of myself in the DNF world that's extreme as fuck. And people were disappointed. They're like, hey, where's your streamlines and shit? Why don't you just act normal in DNF Duel as your character? And I'm like, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be a streamer in the DNF universe, dude. So I wanted it to feel more natural that the character belongs there. Vegan water, like weird shit, So to me, it was like, I needed to extreme it. I needed to make it a hyper version of myself, even more dumbass hyperness than I already am, So I tried to avoid that as much as possible. I didn't want to feel like, oh, it's just Max being a streamer and they just take voice clips. I didn't want that. I need moves. Show me moves. Yeah, but that's the thing, dude. It is what it is. I honestly wish it feels different. That's my biggest criticism. I'm not disappointed. I just wish it felt a little bit different. Sports fans are going to have to learn to do double motion inputs. From the left and the right side. I think I wanted him to doing really fantastical shit, dude. I think it would have been great if his throw, just as an example, like his throw's pretty simple. Dude, like he should have been straight like hacky sack motherfucker, boom, 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 boom. Like he should have been beating that ass with a soccer ball. And then you fly it. Like, I feel like it should have been pushed twice as much. He feels like he's playing actual soccer and using the soccer and turning it into like a powerful weapon. Bitch, I wanted this guy to be going crazy. I wanted him to feel like he's coming out of a manga or some shit. And now he's sort of just very like honorable. He's pretty much a dude that's sort of kicking a ball every once in a while. What I'm trying to say is, I think there's a bit of disconnect. It's a cool idea. The execution is decent. I think he looks a little weird. It's great for the game. I want to play him. I want to see what the hell he actually plays like. But I feel like the way his moves look is a little bit too, like, quote unquote, honorable to normal human Ronaldo. And I wanted kind of a crazy Shaolin soccer guy. Like I wanted hyper real instead of trying to be like real. And yeah, you see some jumping things every once in a while. This is cool. This stuff is cool. But there feels like there needs to be more. I want more. I want there to be like more crazy shit like that, dude. I really do. Just a little bit more stylized. I wanted him to look like he's cooking people. Like really bad. Probably a creative argument that happened a lot of probably the SNK guys wanting to do that. And they're like, no, let's bring it down. Let's tone down those things because we don't want people to get confused that it's not Ronaldo, right? It's people see him doing all this crazy stuff. They're going to get confused. We want him to be doing very similar things that he does. So now I'm like literally recreating this shit in my head about how like deals work and how executives would look at this shit and why they would do it. It's definitely cool. All I'm proposing is that I don't think this is a bad thing that stuff like this could exist in the future. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing because it is just allowing more people to get into it. And we've been teetering on the idea that Mike Tyson could be in Tekken and it would be the sickest shit ever. but it would not be like modern Mike Tyson. It'd be like a recreation of like young Iron Mike Tyson in some way, and you can make him feel like he was from the Tekken universe in some shit. Mike Tyson's already in Street Fighter, but in Street Fighter, they did the correct thing. He's like a referential Mike Tyson as Bison, right? Or no, it's not M. Bison in the US, it's Balrog. So I think that way is actually kind of great, you know? I think that shit's kind of cool. Punch Out. Another good example, right? Another good example of it working out very well. Mike Tyson's Punch Out has a whole bunch of like other characters in the game where Mike Tyson does like the most insane shit where you see all these other crazy people doing teleports and all this nutty shit. And then you get to Mike Tyson and he's doing shit that's faster than anyone. And it's like, holy crap. So he's matching the power levels of the experience he's in. You know what I mean? So my conclusion at the end of this whole thing is I think it's cool, but I think the way it is executed feels a little off. And as much as he's going to do great stuff for the game, and he's probably going to be really fun, and he's probably going to be the best character in the game, you better get ready that, you know, so-and-so, Shanghai wins with Ronaldo. Like that shit's going to happen. You know, it's going to happen. But I think the way the character and the universe that the character is being injected into feels like it was probably met with a lot of stipulations. So it feels somewhat unnatural. It feels very much like an Instagram post, right? It feels like an Instagram post where all of a sudden, like somebody just shows up with something that is completely the opposite of what they do. And they're just like, hey, bam, I got this. That's not exactly a bad thing. Like that is what all these things are. That is what Michael Jordan in Space Jam was. That is what actors showing up to be like Johnny Silverhand and shit. That is what that is. These are all things that feel like they are marketing. Like they all are. Don't get me wrong. They're all marketing. They're all just to get new people to try something out. Fucking Keanu Reeves got me to even try Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever before it came out. And I was like, quickly, no, after I played it, but still, they feel like they're playing characters that belong in that universe. And this one is like specifically not that way.